can see her teeth are starting to get a little bit yellow with age, starting to be a bit worn. She's still in good condition though. I mean, Karula's, for a female leopard, her life expectancy is a lot longer than a male leopard. And Fricky, lovely to have your question. I just want to check in with Taxon quickly. Bear with me one moment, Fricky, sorry. Tax, have you guys still got visual there, or do you want me to move back again? No sign. Okay, sorry, Fricky. You're saying if leopards are solitary, if Karula has more cubs, will they try and kill, will Khosana and Shongile attempt to kill them? And the answer is no, generally not. That would be a little bit counterproductive to have siblings attempt to kill younger siblings. So nature has evolved in a way that, for the most part, siblings are quite tolerant of each other, up until the point where they really start to come into their own. So we saw one brief moment, or not brief moment actually, one particular sighting, where Shimbambalana, who is Karula's son, come on, call your daughter. Don't just call your son, call your daughter too. Shimbambalana and Karula's younger son, Quarantine, met and had a little bit of a standoff. But for the most part, I think somehow they do know that they are related to each other. Just like, well, we know which are our family members and which are not. And they are treated with a bit more tolerance. Seriously tucking in. Look at him using his claws. They've lost their, or at least he's almost lost his baby face, hasn't he? And this is such a special experience, just by the way, because a couple of you will know that a few of our viewers are actually out here on Djuma on safari. So just imagine how happy they are. They're in the sighting with me. Imagine what that feels like. They must be beside themselves to see this. There you go. A question from James Richard about if it's because Shongile is female, or is it just her personality that she always seems to be a little bit more retiring than her brother, and often in these sightings absent. We don't always get to see her as often as we do her brother. James, I don't think it's sex related. I think that, or gender related. I think that it's personality. I really do. And I think leopard siblings have distinctive personalities. I've watched a few grow up, and they always somehow seem to come, and it's not gender specific, seem to come with one bold personality and one slightly shyer personality. And I don't know if it's a product of nature versus nurture. I mean, where the argument falls, I don't know if it's because of experiences they've had, but there always seems to be one of them that is bolder. Now, in terms of their genders, he is bigger and stronger than his sister now. Already that dimorphism between the males and the females making itself known. He probably weighs a good couple of extra kilograms, so she might have decided actually she doesn't want to spend too much time around him, but it might also be that she's more independent, which is gender related. So she's gone for a little bit of a wander. Or she might have come in here, eaten her full, and she's actually she's got a big stomach somewhere, and she doesn't feel like going anywhere. She might just be resting in the shade. Now at this age, both of our little cubs have probably made a kill at some point. But Cindy, oh, hold on. What's up, little one? Tucking back in. But at this age, Cindy, no, they won't be subsidizing their own diet, really. They'll be killing things for fun and for practice, but Karula is responsible for the bulk of their meals. They might every now and again kill a scrub hare or a dwarf mongoose or something, or a squirrel, something along those lines, and they will eat it. But for the most part, that's not really to feed themselves, it's to practice their hunting skills. And if something were to happen to Karula now, her cubs would not survive. If she were to leave them for an extended period of time, her cubs would not survive on their own. They're not yet big enough and old enough to sort themselves out and hunt for themselves. Even at a year, they're not quite ready for that leap. This whole hunting and stalking and catching something takes a bit of practice. It's not as easy as Karula makes it look, which is something that poor Hasana, I imagine, will still have to discover. You're getting so big and strong, little one. Can't believe you're 8 months old already. Tax, are you pulling out or you want to move back? Copy, I'll push you from behind. Hold on, I'll move for you. We just need to reposition so that Tax can pull out of the sighting. The reason I'm chuckling, well, I'll explain while I'm chuckling in a moment, but for now let's head across to Taylor and find out what she's up to and if she got Herbie's message.
I'm hoping to get to the lions, everybody. Herbert, the #1 tracker in the world, bit bumpy, sorry, managed to find some lions. Now I'm not sure of the composition just yet, sorry about that everybody. I parked on a big bump, and you can see 2 female, yeah, mom and fawn, moving off into the thicket. They don't always seem to want to stay and hang around. You can see, like I said, they're all eating the grass at the moment, even though they're predominantly browsers, so they're just eating leaves. Everybody can't resist saying no to the lovely green grass that's come through. It's better, that I suppose, than eating crispy old dry leaves or leaves that make your mouth bitter. That was a big obstacle that it went over. Could possibly have a career as a show jumping in Nyala. Oh, there's another one coming. Hello. There's 3 in Nyala now, everyone. The other one is a bit further to the left. A big female. Now you can see that lovely golden sun coming through. Oh, I'm so excited for the sunset tonight. Really wonderful. Let's see who's coming on. Oh, there's lots of Nyala. My goodness, there's a whole lot. They're all going to come past behind you now. We'll just wait for them patiently. We'll let them cross the road behind us, and then we will go to the lions, hopefully. You can see there they come. Going past the infrared light now. And there. Beautiful. Just all crossing the road to get to the other side, where obviously the grass is greener. There we go, everybody. Oh, and a little one darting. That's a beautiful shot, everybody. You can see a little bit of liquid coming from its eyes. Possibly maybe it got a thorn or an irritation or something in its eyes that's causing a sort of excess of fluid. You know what happens when you get a bit of dust or sand in your eye. Your eye tends to water quite a bit. It's the same thing with the animals, just trying to flush whatever foreign object is in the eye out. Lovely, everybody. Now we're going to head and try and get to these lions. So stay with me, don't go anywhere. We're going to drive into the sun a little bit, but we're not far, so hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's not. You won't feel anything. Now, I know, and I was just saying how I think that Herbert is the #1 tracker in the entire world, and I stand by this. So Candy from the Southern Sands, he's pretty good too. He's amazing. But Herbie's just been on form lately. And so everybody's trying to get hold of me. Hang on, Herbert's trying to get hold of me. Staying by Herbert. I'm approaching Hyena Road now from Central. Sorry everybody, Herbie's looking for me. Sorry Monique, I know you were wondering, is tracking something that you can learn? Or is it, do you just have it or do you don't, basically? Now, tracking is definitely a skill, and I've told the story before of how a lot of these, the local Shangaan gentlemen learn tracking, is that they often have to go out and learn how to track their dad's cows, their father's cows, so they get sent off with a task to go and spend the day out in the fields or wherever it may be in the bush. There's never a fence around the Sabi Sands or Greater Kruger area. And they would obviously never want to stay with cows, and they'd go off and play games and soccer and all sorts of fun things, and then they'd have to make sure they bring all the cows home. And they were never allowed to come home unless they had all the cows. So that's how they're taught from very young boys. So I think it's a bit of both. It's definitely learnt. I've definitely learnt a lot from the trackers that I've worked with over the last few years. But I wish I had been taught it when I was very young. Then I think it's obviously much better, and you'll obviously be a lot better at it. But there's qualifications to become a tracker. You can do a variety of a different track and sign. So it's not a written test like the qualifications to be a ranger or to be a guide is. It's a little bit different. It's all practical, but you can do that in these various levels that you can attain. Now, I want you just. I'm looking out for Herbie, everybody, and it's very windy, so I'm hoping I'm going to hear his vehicle moving around. I'm also not sure how far along Hyena Road these lions are, but they're somewhere here, and we will get them shortly. Still haven't seen Herbert. Let's see if I can get hold of him and see if he can possibly hear me. Maybe he's not moving around anymore. Herbert Taylor, when you get my audio, will you just Nkuhuma with me? Sorry, I'm having a good chuckle to myself. And the radio is always interesting.
We are still with our amazing little leopard cub, and we've actually found ourselves with the sighting all to ourselves. Now, we're sorry to have lost Taylor. I think she got cut off in mid-sentence. She is going through a little bit of a tricky signal area. Hopefully she will re-emerge back onto your screens once again at some point relatively shortly. In the meantime, young Hosanna is still gorging away at his bushbuck, having a wonderful time. I think you've eaten most of that, mister, with your very round belly. You can see all the carcass flies have gathered around him as well, those green bodies and red heads. Karula's just got up and actually moved off. I can't see her anymore. I'm hoping she might have decided to go and fetch the young madam and decided to bring her for a little bit of a meal as well. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping she hasn't just gone off in search of a better patch of shade, because if she has, there's absolutely no way we're going to get a vehicle up there. Shame. You should see poor old Tax trying to get out of the sighting. It was thoroughly entertaining watching poor Terry's face as they navigated around. Anyway, we found ourselves with the sighting all to ourselves. I can't wait. I must actually make a concerted effort while we're here. I'm hoping one of them is going to defecate, one of the cubs, because we haven't managed to collect their scat yet, as far as I know. And I know that Panthera is exceptionally interested in getting hold of that. Well, the reason we're collecting leopard scat might sound like a really bizarre thing to get excited about, but Panthera is conducting a massive paternity study using the DNA that is gathered from the leopard scat. And it's the easiest way, for us at least, to gather DNA. I asked one of them very nicely for a cheek swab, and for some reason they wouldn't let me. As you can imagine, scat is probably the safest and actually least invasive way of collecting the leopard's DNA. And that's why I'm so incredibly excited for the little leopard cub to defecate. It would be very, very nice. And hopefully we're there to witness it, because whilst I will not be able to collect it today, we will be able to come back tomorrow. And if they are not here, which I have a feeling they won't be, then we'll be able to go and collect it. Now, this bushbuck that he's currently tucking into, you can see it's making the effort of getting in beneath the skin is actually pretty intense. The skin of these antelope is exceptionally tough, particularly if you've only got little baby jaws, although he's at least a little bit better off than he was when they were 3 months old. But he's still got to rip and tear a little bit. Hello. I hope you're getting lots of amazing screenshots. He really has changed, hasn't he? Where is your sister? Now, Ellen, in Arkansas, we've been talking about leopards and the relatedness of cubs and how they interact with each other. He wants to know what Karula would do if she came across Shadow's cub all on its own. And the answer is we don't know. There's one recorded case in the wild of a grandmother adopting a grand cub. I can't remember if it was a daughter or a son. I think it was a daughter. So she basically adopted her daughter's cub. She walked away from a shared kill with one extra cub and proceeded to raise it to adulthood, despite the fact that she had 2 cubs of her own and that there was an age difference between the cubs. So that's a very rare and very interesting situation. Shadow, of course, for our new viewers, is Karula's oldest daughter. She did, and I'm hoping it's not past tense, but she did, the last time we saw her, have a cub that's about 1 month younger than Shungile and Hosana. Now, Shadow's gone back into estrus. She's been mating with other males, and we don't know whether the cub is still alive, essentially. And it's starting to look less and less hopeful the more that Shadow is away from that little girl mating. I don't know what what Karula would do with a cub. Probably sniff it and then move away. I don't think her instinct, I think that kind of situation of adoption is rare. I think she'd probably look at it and then move off. She might even hiss and snarl and growl, and the little cub would run away itself. But the truth is, we really don't know. It depends on the circumstances, and it depends on the individual, I think. I wonder if she would even recognize it as Shadow's cub if Shadow wasn't with her. I have no idea. I really don't know. It's nice for us in human terms to think, well, if only Karula had come across the cub and adopted it. But that isn't really how it works out here in the wild. And Shadow's cub, it's a complicated one, because Shadow's cub is competition for these two, but she's still blood. She's still related. Speaking of which, I wonder if we shouldn't go looking for... We can't go very far. I think we'll stick here for now. Better the leopard you can see than the leopard you can't, I think. Good question, Laura. Laura wants to know if we have a spot pattern on Hosana yet. I don't know. I haven't got... I'm terrible. I tend not to memorize the spot patterns of leopards. I like to just look at them. And I find them easy to recognize once you've spent a little bit of time with them. But you are absolutely right in that the official way of recording and recognizing leopards in terms of the scientific method is to look at their spot patterns. I like looking at noticeable marks, rather, on the coat, like Karula's wow, for example, on her forehead. But let's have a look and see if we can get Hosana's spot pattern while we sit here. So the spot pattern is the top row of spots, of the whisker spots. And it is from right to left, the animal's right to the animal's left, so our left to our right when we're looking at him like this through the camera. And unfortunately, in order to count, I think it looks like a 3 on the top there. We need you to shift your face, mister. Looks like a 3 on his left-hand side. Now we just need a right. So essentially what it's written as is 4-3 or 4-4 or 2-3 or 3-2, and then often accompanied by the area that the leopard is found in, and that's often the official way of referring to leopards. It's like he heard us. You want to see my right side? Well, you can't, because I'm a recalcitrant teenager, and I don't want to show you. Oh, yes, I do. It looks like a 3-3. I didn't see that properly, though. I wonder if any of you out there who have got screenshots of Hosana... Oh, there we go. Erlene says it's a 3-3. So there we go. It is a 3-3. I thought that's what I was seeing, but it's a bit difficult when the face is contorted, chewing on a carcass like that. But it's a 3-3. He's got a 3-3 spot pattern. Interested to know what Shungile is, just out of curiosity. I'm interested to know where Shungile is, out of curiosity. But for now, her brother is enjoying his feast all to himself. Come on, Shungile. You better come before your brother finishes everything. You're a growing girl too. I must actually ask Herbert when there's a gap on the Game Drive channel. I must actually ask Herbert if there were sets of 2 cubs or just 1. As I said, that's not a reason to panic. She's a young female, she's getting older, showing a little bit of signs of independence. Can hear Aubrey making his way as well into the sighting, so we will at some point have to... Well, I can't actually tell if that's Aubrey making his way in or Taxon still trying to get out at this point. Those bright shining eyes. He's really tucking in. Liam, I hope this isn't our friend from the DRC. There's a couple of bushbuck that live outside the DRC that we've got very used to seeing and quite attached to. I'm hoping that this isn't one of them. Well, we're quite far north, but it's in that same general area. Not too far from home. I'm hoping it's not one of our bushbuck friends. We get to see them every morning out of the window. Okay. I know that Taylor is responding to a sighting. Unfortunately, she's still having problems with signal. So let's reposition and just see if we can't see Karula and what she's up to on the top of the drainage line. if she's still visible, of course. I'll come back to him if she's not. It's alright, Wendy. It's okay. Ah. Queen has gone. She's probably gone to find her daughter. They're probably just there. No, she has vanished. Now, Karen, while we get back to little Hosanna and his bushbuck meal, you want to know how far back Karula's lineage has been tracked and how many litters of cubs she's had. Let's start with the first question. The second question first, sorry. So essentially, she has had in her oldest twins, Shadow and Tundi, and we still get to see Shadow and we occasionally get to see Tundi. Then, if I'm not mistaken, was it... there we go. Here comes Aubrey. Mishu and Nduna, then Shinvinzi and Shaluva. No, not Shinvinzi and Shaluva. Shinvinzi and Shimbambalana. And then it was Quarantine and Nkuhuma, and now Hosanna and Shongile. So 5 successful litters. She's had more in her life, but not all of them have been successful. We know of at least one that didn't make it to adulthood. But for a female leopard, that is an incredible success rate. She's been an amazing mother. We'll get back to your question and answer it more fully when we return back to these leopard cubs. But for now, Taylor's got something so exciting because Herbert has done it once again.
We've got the lions. Look at these lovely little cubs, and it was perfect timing. I must say a big thank you to Herbert, everybody. He did an outstanding job. And we got you at the right time, because he said that they were hiding away. And I don't know if it was all the activity with the vehicle, but now they are thirsty. And look at them having a drink. Remember to take screenshots, everybody. To see 4 little lion cubs lined up like this is something quite special. So you don't see something like that all the time. You don't really often get to have an opportunity like this. So take away. Now, this morning, I know that Brent saw one of the female lionesses, I think it was that young female, covered in blood. And apparently they killed a buffalo, but they seem to be back here. So I'm not sure if the killer's down here or what the story is. So we're going to have to do a bit of investigating when these little ones move off. We're going to have to follow them back to where they've come from. But very nice that they've popped out to have a little drink. Look at them looking up every now and then. Isn't that amazing? Very special, everybody. And they're looking lovely and healthy, all these cubs, which is good. Well, they've seen something. You can see them, one looking up. What have you seen? Just looking over my shoulders just to see if I can see what they can, but their eyesight is much better than ours. Maybe it's just an antelope moving in the distance. But very thirsty cats, so possibly they've had a good feed. But it's been nice and hot. And now they've all come for a little drink. Lovely. That's beautiful. Look at that lovely golden sun just coming through and catching the glistening on their eyes. Wow. And they're getting quite cheeky, these little cubs as well, especially the older 2. Oh, little groom as well. As we've seen them showing quite a bit of curiosity to the vehicles, so we're going to have to watch them and make sure that they don't get too close and hopefully they learn that they need to respect us and not come and bother us. We just view them from in here and they should just view us from down on the ground. Oh, isn't that a nice sibling? A little groom, a little drink of water. And the others are obviously still sleeping somewhere. We haven't seen the adults just yet, but I think they're down in the thicket. And you can see they're getting very curious now. Like I said, they're getting to that age where they think they can start wandering off, but they're still very vulnerable to predators, so they better be careful. They better not stray too far away from the adults. Oh, we're going to have a little break. One's not done yet. Oh no, I'm going to wrestle you. Please push that one in the water. Yes, in you go. In you go. Throw your sibling in. No. Good tactic. Just do a circle and loop around. I don't know how pleased that little cat would have been if it got thrown in the water. I imagine quite sad. Oh! See the one in front? You see it's seen the turtle dove on the other side of the mud wallow. Look there. Look, you see? That's amazing. There we go. There's the first little hunting instinct that I've seen of the Nkuhumas. Because there have been many a times where we've seen the crested francolins coming through and they've done nothing. And that little one made the first move, actually went and attempted to stalk that bird. But I think a turtle dove is a bit quick for you, I'm afraid. But good job. You can only improve from there. Now that turtle dove is actually sat up on the dead log. Can you see that stick that's sticking out? Just going go up a bit to the big log to the right, and then go straight up there. There it is. Aha, there is the turtle dove. Sitting there going, I just came here for a drink. Now there's these lion cubs stopping me. Wondering, should I just risk it? Should I go to the other side? Should I go down? Very confused little turtle dove. You're going to have to sit up there, I'm afraid, because our 4 lion cubs that we are watching of the Nkuhumas have found this to be quite a nice spot to just stare into the distance. Now you can see there's definitely one troublemaker. The one that's laying down facing the opposite direction is definitely the ringleader and is the instigator. What a beautiful afternoon, everybody. It's turned out to be a fantastic day. The sun is also just starting to drop. Oh, there's lots of turtle doves coming in and they're all flying past very quickly. Sort of seeing that unfortunately they can't drink any water. Here comes some more. We're watching these little cubs grow up quite quickly. As we watch this turtle dove make a brave move towards one of the mud wallows, and the other one just flew down. That's very risky. And I know Thomas is wondering this afternoon if the young lioness of the Nkuhumas that we've been seeing mating with Birmingham number 4, are those cubs going to run the risk of being roughhoused by these older cubs? Of course they are, Thomas. However, Mom is going to keep a close eye on them. And you often see a few sort of fights that go on in and amongst the pride, especially when you see the introduction of new cubs. The older ones are quite keen and quite curious. Look at us stalking the turtle dove. Let's see how close they're going to get. I'm not going to move the vehicle, everybody. I'm just going to sit very still. So, Thomas, I hope that answers your question. But yes, they are, but Mom is going to keep a close eye on them. Now, this is quite hysterical, actually. It's almost like they seem as though they're pretending to pay no attention to those doves. They sit, oh no, I'm just coming over here to drink some water and have a look here. They haven't quite learned the art of stalking just yet. Come on, run after it. Let's see how quick you are. Close? No, too slow. But it's nice to see that instinct coming through, everybody. Very, very nice. And hopefully, like I said, next time we see the very brave crested francolins, hopefully they will come through and maybe we see one of these little ones catching their first bird. That'll be very exciting, a very important learning curve for them too. There's another vehicle coming down the road and they're just going to see a wall of little cubs watching them. Now, it's very difficult for us to maneuver, everybody. We've got big trees around us. And that involves moving the aerial quite a bit. And I don't want you to lose us. So we're just going to sit here and hold our position. Just for a little bit. I suspect they're going to come back. They won't be gone for too long. Good afternoon, Sally. Sally, don't panic too much. These little lions are on a little bit of a walkabout. However, Herbert said that the entire pride seems to be in here. He said he only was able to see one male. We haven't been able to see the adults yet, but I suspect that these little cubs are not more than about 50 meters away from the adults. So, as much as they like to go on little walkabouts, they also know that if they stay away from mom for too long, they're not going to have anyone to protect them. But maybe they look like they're on their way back. The others seem to be coming back now. The unsuccessful hunting mission of the turtle doves. But they're coming back towards us. We'll see them. They're popping through the thicket now. Now, hopefully they're going to lead us into not too thick vegetation. Yes, come back to the water. And hopefully we'll be able to see the rest of the pride. But I suspect the others are most likely sleeping. Very nice. Little one's found a bit of elephant dung to keep it company. Amazing. You can hear lots of turtle doves, I'm sure, calling in the distance. They're all hanging around. This is obviously the local turtle dove watering hole. And, oh, there we go, practicing stalking. Oh, look at them. They're getting so much better as well. It's like the muscles are all strengthening. They're able to creep for longer, stay down for longer. Still doesn't know, sibling doesn't know that this one is there. What are you going to do? Oh my goodness, still nothing. No, surely you... Ah. That wasn't a very good attempt. This one looks like it's been watching the adults too closely. No, just going to play and push my other sibling over. They're very curious this afternoon. And I must say, I've been quite lucky with the Nkuhumas. They've been very active. So Liz, you have obviously been watching for quite a while because you've answered your own question spot on. So Liz says that she's noticed that the lions have white underneath their eyes. You can see that very nicely. And yes, Liz, in fact, that is indeed to help reflect light back into their eyes, to help them see better at night. So any starlight, any moonlight, that is going to definitely help them. Now, please push your sibling in. This is too beautiful, everybody. This scene. Coming in for another drink. My thirsty little cats. I don't even know what to say. It's just so beautiful just sitting here watching them. I'm going to just sit quietly. Remember, take some screenshots, everybody. This is very special to see all of them with their heads down. And have a look at the one at the back. It's stalking. You've just got to raise a little bit. Look at this. This could be quite funny, everybody, because maybe this one actually gives one of these little cubs a fright, and then they bounce into... Who are you going to choose? No. Contender on the left has seen you? No. Not going to stalk anybody anymore. Remember, everybody, we are on a live African safari, so you're watching these adorable cubs happening right now. So if you'd like to interact with myself or Jamie this afternoon, you're welcome to either hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can send in an email, questions@wildearth.tv. Remember, if you are taking any screen captures or any screenshots of what's going on, please remember to hashtag Safari Live so we can all have a look at your wonderful pictures a bit later. Oh, they're learning. Oh, be careful you don't bite your, what are you, little girl, and looks like a little boy. Let's see. No, both boys. 2 boys playing with each other, roughhousing each other quite nicely, and practicing that spinal bite. Remember, we saw that quite nicely the other evening when the Nkuhumas brought down that buffalo, and we were able to witness that, how they would jump on the backs and try and gnaw on the spine. We're practicing that very well. Oh, there we go. You're very clever. You found the cool mud to sit in. Well, unlike the elephants, the lions don't really like to get too wet and cover themselves in mud. However, when they do find a patch of hard mud that's slightly damp, it does help relieve them and help cool them down quite nicely. Now these guys have got fat bellies. So I wonder if that killer's maybe not on our property. Now they're just going to roll around and play with each other. I think the cubs are most entertaining once they get past sort of 4 months, because they've got a bit of strength, bit of power to their punches. Whoa, pow, pow, pow. Look at that, like a boxer. Fast as lightning. Not quite fast just yet. Oh, look what I've got. Oh, that one's a bit big, I'm afraid. I don't think you can get that one. That little one on the left is being ambitious. But now they all seem to be very slowly stalking the one that has got the big stick. So I think we're going to reposition very quickly, everybody. I want to go much further forward. There's another opening and just get ahead of them. So I'm going to jolt a little bit. Everybody, oh, hang on. Are you going to do a big leap? No, come on. Not too keen on the pounce. Not like the leopards. Leopards do a lot more pouncing than lions. Look at that, all the bums in the air rolling upside down. It seems like it's the boys that have come here. So far I've only seen males. But we'll have a look nicely. It's quite difficult to tell who's male, who's female at this stage. Yes, I think let's reposition quickly, everybody. Go a little bit further forward just so we can squeeze another vehicle in here, so we can all have an equal opportunity to view these amazing little cats. And I think we're going to get another little clear gap just up ahead, and then hopefully we'll be able to see where these adults are. Just looking, everybody. Excuse me for being quiet. Oh no, it's okay. I don't like too many vehicles moving, so we'll stop. Oh, they're chasing each other now. They're all grabbing onto one end. Can't see any of the adults. They're going down into the drainage. Please don't go too far, because I don't think we're going to be able to get down there. Let's just see where they go, and then we'll try and reposition once they've headed on a little bit further. They're quite sensitive to when you drive over some of the branches. They do tend to get a little bit of a fright. Still getting used to the vehicles. But eventually, give them another year and they'll be well acquainted with us. But I think this is possibly where the adults are. They've had enough alone time, a little adventure away from mom and dad, and now they are slowly making their way back down into the drainage. It'll be quite interesting. It's very thick. Oh, okay. I can see a leg of an adult. Can you see straight through there? I don't know if you can. If you maybe go to the right.
To the right, yeah.
Yeah, and then go up a little bit. Go straight. See there? There you can just see the twitching. That is a lion, everybody. That looks like an adult lion. Now, I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. I cannot tell right now. But we will try and go forward. But it's very thick. Now, wants to know how long does it take for a lion to grow a mane. Now, only the males get manes, and it takes them quite a few years, Tyler. It's 6 years for them to completely get their full mane. So it starts developing at just a few months of age, and obviously it starts growing a bit of it around the neck or down on the chest, then it slowly starts building up again on the shoulders, and it comes round back of the neck and creeps all over the ears, and then eventually it'll come around and then on the elbows, and that's sort of when the hair on the elbows go nice and black. That's sort of when you know that they've got to about 5 years. But I think we're going to try and reposition. I'm just trying to work out the best plan. I think if I go straight through there and then hit a right, a stern right, we may be able to do it. Let's try it, everybody. So it's not serious bundu bashing, everybody, but there's some small shrubs. Well, I think while I navigate through here, I'm going to make some crazy noises. I think Jamie has managed to get a better view of Hosanna.
Oh, dearie me, it seems as though our young little Hosanna, just as Taylor sent you across to us, has decided to move. Luckily for us, Karula has made another appearance. Unfortunately, she's also no longer visible. Sorry, I was in the middle of a conversation. I'm just going to finish it off. Copy that, thanks, Orbs. He's trying to advise me as to how we could maybe get onto this side of the drainage line. Karula's there. Can't you tell? She's hidden somewhere. There. I don't know where. And I'm not quite sure where Hosanna's gone either now. Let's just hold on one moment before we try and reposition. I'm hoping he might... There he comes. He's going up to Mom. So Aubrey was just giving me advice about how maybe I should try from the lodge and around and across and up. There she is, she's up. Maybe she'll go down and have a little bit of a feed as well, and perhaps we'll be able to get a slightly better view. I'm just trying to have a look at my map as to exactly where we are. I know roughly, but it might be a way of figuring out. Oh, he's going to lie down with Mom. It might be a way of trying to figure out exactly how to get across to that side. Here we go. Okay, well, since we don't have a view for now, let me show you on a map exactly what our predicament is. So if we have a look here on the map, the dotted blue lines, which you'll be able to see, those are these big, thick drainage lines that we're in at the moment. So we're in one of them here, and we're actually right at the joining of two drainage lines, which is why it's quite thick and steep in here, because it's where water's converged. So the blue dot is us, and obviously the solid lines around it are the road. The lodge is... Hey, hello, thank you. There's Voyatella. Galago sits just here, and Aubrey's been trying to get me to go around and onto this side, which is where Karula is. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, because this map's not 100% accurate in that we are on this side of the drainage line, not the southern side. So I'm trying to figure out if maybe we could get in from here. Because anywhere else, coming in anywhere else will mean that we get stuck behind one of these drainage lines. But I wonder if we could make an effort to get in through this way. Unfortunately, it is getting a little bit dark for us to make that attempt. But that's just to sort of explain our predicament to you. And you can see it's basically an impassable area. There's drainage line walls absolutely everywhere. Right, so earlier on, while we reposition, and I actually think I know how we can get a view. We might have to look over the guests though, but we'll try it. I think I have a plan. Now, we were discussing Karula's lineage, and she's had... we don't know exactly whether she lost any. She might have lost some when they were very, very young, and we might have been unaware of it. And Kimbo, there's also some of our viewers. Oh, Sorry, VM. I hope you're still on the back there. Aha, this was a good plan. I think. Let me just get out. Let me just let Aubrey get out. So, Kimber, you wanted to know about the lineage. There are some of our viewers that have known and followed the story of Karula, who is now moving. We'll just duck over the heads of the guests enjoying the sighting. You're feeling a little bit queasy, Karula. Eating a little bit of grass there. No, she was apparently the daughter of Safari, a leopard with one eye. Along with her brother. What was her brother's name again? I knew a second ago, but all of a sudden it's gone out of my head. She did have a brother, twin brother. So the lineage of the Sabi Sands leopards has been followed since the Sabi Sands started. Because obviously guides, because these leopards are so habituated, spend a lot of time with them. Right, so what Karula's doing is what your pet cats and dogs do whenever they're feeling a little bit under the weather. Perhaps she's eaten something that's disagreed with her. She's just attempting to make herself feel quite ill, or to throw up. That's why she's eating the grass. Look at that round belly. She's definitely eaten her full now. Come on, Karula, get it up. It might even be a little bit of a shard of bone or hoof that might be making her feel a bit uncomfortable. So I actually left the sighting a little bit earlier to go and see, because there was a report that there was a leopard at Galago Pan, and that must have been her. She must have gone for a drink, perhaps to settle her stomach. So she went and had a drink at Galago Pan and then made it all the way back here, much faster than I could do it in the vehicle. Of course, I had to go round. She could just go through. At least it's nice green grass for you to eat, girl, after the rain we've had. I'm just trying to see which way she's going to go, or if she's just going to stay here and keep eating the grass. At times like these, I wish it was possible to have X-ray vision to see where her other cub is. I am talking softly, by the way, just because we are next to one other vehicle and the guests are very, very close, so I don't want to ruin their experience by talking too loudly. You can see her fur twitching from the flies. Tiny little muscle contractions just as flies land on her fur and irritate her fur. And only recently with that Birmingham boy, we've really got an idea of actually just how much harm a fly in the wrong spot can really truly do. When they oh, bless you, girl. Bless you. Oh, are you going to get it up? There we go. Here we go. No, still not quite there. Can't tell if she's sneezing or retching, trying to bring up a hairball combination. I think the grass might be doing its job. She's definitely not looking terribly comfortable. I wonder if she managed there to get it up. Okay. She seems... I think she might have... Oh, no, she hasn't. I thought she might have succeeded in getting whatever she wanted to get out. Bye, guys. Now, Jackie J, wondering, talking of lineages, and please, if one of our leopard experts could remind me what Karula's brother is called, because I can't remember. Jackie J will say, you're hearing of lots of mixed litters. Is it more common than same-sex litters, so twins of the same sex? I'd say it's pretty even. I'm just trying to think if there's some mathematics behind if a boy and a girl would be more likely than a girl and a girl or a boy and a boy. And I don't think so. I think it's just 50-50. Karula's had 2 girls, 1 boy and girl, 2 boys, and now a boy and a girl. So that's almost an even split. I mean, it's 3 to 5, a ratio, in terms of same sex versus different sexes in the litter. And bear in mind, some leopards don't just have 2. They can have up to 3 or 4, although the usual number is 2. Every now and again you even get more than that. The most I've ever seen in the wild is 3. They are capable of having 4. Don't disappear, girl. I wonder where her little boy has gone. Oh, there he is. Well done, Vim. I couldn't see him at all. Oh, so agile. See? Completely coordinated and controlled. Meeting up with Mum. I wonder if she's in a slightly better mood. No wonder she was feeling so grumpy. I know when I get nauseous I don't feel particularly enamored with any company. And perhaps that's why she was even baring her teeth at her son earlier. She's definitely not feeling herself. Oh. I think she succeeded. Okay, thanks very much to Karen, who sent through the info on Karula's littermate. It was a girl. I knew she had a brother. I don't know why I thought it was she came from a mixed litter. So Karula's littermate was a female called Tembe, who apparently very sadly was killed by lions. So thank you for that, Karen. And her younger brother was called Matimba, also known as the Felton's Tom, or the Felton's Bale. So there we go. Thank you very much, Karen. I did know that. I don't know why it suddenly went out of my head. I think I've been keeping track of too many different animals. Too many things going on in my head. I'm going to eat a nachi instead. Let us try and reposition and see if we can't get a slightly better view. I think this might be it though, for us, unfortunately, with this Karula sighting. Oh! I don't want to drive up too close to the carcass to get a good view, just because we've already determined that Karula's in a not very happy mood. Not possible, I don't think. Let's just see if she's going to come back down. Oh, there goes little boy. He's bounding about, perhaps in a playful mood. Go and fetch your sister, mister. We would very much like to see her as well. You can't possibly be coming back down for more. You're so full you look like you're going to burst. Huh. And just like that, I think our leopard sighting is over. I think they're probably going to go and lie down there. Oh no, there we go. There's some spots through some trees. I think she's going to move further off and then she's going to go and lie down. But for now, she's still grass eating. Obviously, she hasn't succeeded in getting whatever's bothering her out of her system. Now, all of our big cats do it, and hyenas, and wild dogs. It's standard across the predator board, and your pet dogs and cats at home will do it as well. Now, she could have a combination of perhaps a hairball from both herself and from the kill, since leopards will often sit and lick, and lions will lick the kill for a while to just strip away the hair before they start to feed, and a lot of that hair does go down. Or it could be a piece of bone or a piece of hoof, something that she got a little bit over-ambitious about. Oh. I wish we could see whether or not she's had any relief, or whether she's still trying. It's actually relatively common to come upon predator vomit, or a predator hairball. It usually has little bits of bone or little bits of hoof in it. And the odd, I hate to say it, not to be gross about puke, or vomit, but it also often has internal parasites, things like tapeworm in it. I've often come across lion vomit before, full of tapeworm. Now, they are parasite-ridden creatures. Sorry. I'm usually quite good at dealing with it, but I did have a good chuckle there. Rebecca, I'm going to throw you under the bus. Occasionally, because our directors use 2 radios, they're constantly talking to both of us. And occasionally, every now and again, we get a message intended for the other person. So, Bex, I'll pass on your message to Taylor, no problem. It is just the odd moment where you get some random communications. I mean, every now and again we get, I'll be talking about Karula vomiting and I'll hear something like, Jamie's talking about Karula vomiting and hairballs. When she raps, I'd like to link to you. And you think, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and speaking of Karula and her vomiting, I hope she is successful. Unfortunately, I do think this is pretty much the end. This isn't the best view of Karula we've ever had, and she is slowly moving off into some very dense vegetation. As I have many times said, it's going to be impossible for us to follow her. So sorry about that, everybody. I'm going to have to leave for now. Hopefully, there's a slim chance they're going to be here tomorrow, but hopefully with those enormous bellies, they're not going to move too far away. And with Herbie's standard determination, I have no doubt that we'll be able to catch up with them again on the sunrise safari. Hopefully, not here, to be 100% honest, because it's quite a tricky spot. And there's quite a considerable trip off-road. Right, I'm going to try and get us out of here, so I'll see you tomorrow for the sunrise safari. No, I'm joking. I'm going to try and get us out of here. In the meantime, let's head across to Taylor.
We managed to find the adults, and they eventually came out for us. However, not all of them. There are still 2 more females that I could see that are lurking at the back. Actually, there could be a 3rd one there too. And one of the Birminghams is definitely here. We don't have sight of him at the moment, but I'll be able to show you him a little bit later. Now, they came back to those same puddles, those little mud wallows that have filled up over the last bit of rain we had in the last week and a half, and they came to have another drink. So hopefully we're going to get the other females coming through and doing the same thing, and then we'll have a really good view. There you can see one of the lionesses gazing off into the distance. Perhaps she's watching the sun as it sets this evening. We actually missed the sunset, which is unusual. I always like to see the sun go down. But we had our backs facing the sun as we were watching the lions. Also just starting to hear all the calls of the night. Oh, I see what they're looking at. There's a few. Is it a Nyala? I don't know if you can see them through there. But down there, somewhere in between those trees, I think it might be a bit difficult. I think the view is slightly obstructed, but there are some in Nyala. I think if you go a little, there's one, and there seems to be quite a few of them, and that's what that lioness is watching. Now, I know the Nkuhumas, their diet seems to consist mainly of buffalo, but perhaps they could have room for a little bit of a Nyala. But they look fairly full. Now, I'm not sure if the carcass is in there. I'm very uncertain. I did see a vulture sitting up on top of the tree, waiting. But that vulture could also just be perched there just because the lions are around. Sometimes the big raptors and also the vultures will actually just sit and wait and follow predators. I used to see that quite a bit with the wild dogs, how the vultures, when they'd see the wild dogs, they'd start circling above them because they are such successful killers, and that the chances that they are going to kill something is much better than that of a lion. And they'd hang around. Giving herself a little groom, making sure you keep that coat in tip-top shape. Trying to look in between the grooves. I wonder if there's maybe a tick or something there that she's trying to get. You've got lots of here you go. See how she's sort of didn't enjoy that. Perhaps there was a little ectoparasite that had latched on. And those folds of skin are not normally there. It's just the way that she's sitting and hunched herself over. Very important though that they keep themselves nice and clean. Sometimes what you'll even see, and I've seen it happen quite a lot, I haven't seen it with the Nkuhumas yet, is often after they've groomed themselves, they'll go and roll in something like elephant dung or buffalo dung to try and hide their scent. And I'm sure these lovely ladies do it, I just haven't seen them perform that behavior just yet. So just Texans just repositioning. Oh, we may even be able to see the Birmingham now. Let's see what Texan's going to do first. Perhaps, don't worry, he's not going to go too far though. She's definitely gazing off in the distance. I wonder if this is not that young lioness. I can't see too well. There he is, the Mr. Big Birmingham boy himself, with the hole still in his face. Let's see, look at us, a bit of flies irritating that wound on his face. He's not going to look at us, he's too busy watching the other vehicle. Maybe he'll look at us, but it looks like it's healing so far. And I suspect that he'll be okay, but we'll wait for him to stare back across us. It's so peaceful, everybody. It is so beautiful this evening. That's why I'm reluctant to say anything. Watching these lions groom is almost therapeutic. Yes, it does look like the young female, doesn't it? We are getting towards twilight though. The light is going to start playing tricks on us. Getting in between those paws and between the toes. Just making sure there's no thorns or any ticks that have perhaps gone quite close to the pad. I'm going to check over my shoulder who the rest of them are. No one else is coming out here. So the other three lovely ladies must be back with all the cubs. Oh, I can hear lots of moaning coming from the drainage line. I think those little ones are getting a bit rowdy. Now she's cleaned herself up nicely. She's ready for the night. I'd really like to know though what is in that drainage line, if there is actually a kill there. And that could also be the reason as to why the other females aren't moving. Perhaps they don't want to move too far away and run the risk of something coming in and stealing their kill. So they never seem to be too bothered. They always seem to leave half carcasses. Oh! One female's just got up and ran. Now where did you go and why did you go? We need to reposition everybody. We're going to go underneath. We're going to go across the dam wall. Hang on everyone. Right, now the one female is going around in the bushes. Can you get her running off into the distance? She's running now. Sorry everybody, we're watching this in Nkuhuma. She's seen something. I don't know what she's seen. But this definitely to me oh, there's an Nyala right there. Can you see the Nyala to the right? Andreas, you can more than welcome to ask questions on YouTube, on Twitter. You can email us questions. You can do whichever you like. We are watching a lioness. She can't be more than about 10 meters away from a big Nyala bull, everybody. This is amazing. I think it is a young female lioness. She is such a keen huntress. No, Nyala's spotted her, darted away. I don't know if you can see that male disappearing into the distance. Oh, I need to take a breath. I almost didn't breathe that entire time. And it's gone. I think she realized that her opportunity is now over. But now I'm surprised that the Nyala bull didn't let off any alarm calls. That was so close. He was right there. She should have just made a move. But this is why lions are not the most successful hunters. They have to rely on getting too close to their prey. But perhaps again tonight they will attempt. Unbelievable. I can't believe that was so close. This one is still very keen, just listening, waiting for a signal. Looking back over her shoulder, perhaps towards that drainage line to see if anybody else heard. Not that there was too much commotion, it happened very quickly. No, that other female is coming back now. You can see her just coming in the distance. A little bit further, yeah, if you go straight in a bit further to the right. So that lioness, I don't know if you can see, is sort of in the middle of your screen, in the trees. Ooh, got contact calling. It's probably saying something like, you guys are so lazy. I have to try and do that all by myself. Come on, pick it up a pace. I'm confused now. I thought that was the young lioness that went running off, but perhaps it wasn't. Let's see. We need to reposition again, everybody. Getting a little bit dark, so I'm deciding what I'm going to do now. If these lions go back into the drainage, unfortunately we're not going to be able to go in there because of all the little cubs that are around. So I'm just making sure I don't drive David into the trees. Right, just before the sun goes down, I believe Jamie's got the stripy animals. Let's have a quick look at them while I reposition.
I nearly made it to the road before I found myself stuck in traffic at a zebra crossing. Nope. Still not funny. Anyway, there is a lovely herd of zebra standing here, and in particular this particular female, I think it's a female, that doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. My dear, I was planning on going out that way. She's snorting across to some of the other zebra. Yeah, she doesn't look like she's in any kind of a hurry. Just imagine how happy the zebra must be at the moment to be enjoying the fresh green grass. Although it's less green here than it is in other places, it's still a vast improvement on what they've been eating up until now. Here you go, girl. Off you go. Thank you. Such a beautiful evening. Summer has well and truly arrived. It's now warm at night. Up until recently it was still jacket weather, but it's warm, it's clear, and it's beautiful. Right, my traffic jam has started to move, and I really do want to get onto the road because I want to just check and see how my tire is doing after all of this. I did actually start off the afternoon with a very kind gift from Brentwood in the form of a flat tire that I'm hoping has made it all the way through. How are we doing, Liam? We're good. Yes. I was quite concerned actually that we were not going to make it onto the road, but we have. Right, I'm going to go off in search of all kinds of mysterious nocturnal creatures, but let's head back across to Taylor, who already has some.
So they've managed to sit down again, and that lioness that went dashing off is coming back around. So hopefully she's going to walk past us, and then we will swing away and have a look at her. Now I'm very confused, everybody, because I honestly thought that one that went racing off was perhaps the youngest lioness of the Nkuhumas, but apparently it's not, because the Birmingham is hot on the heels of this female over here, as you can see. Oh, hang on. Oh, I can't put the spotlight on everybody. The cubs are coming out, so we're going to have to stay here, I'm afraid. But you could probably hear them. I'm going to sit quietly. Everybody, I'm also just looking over my shoulder because I've got lions coming on either side of me, and I obviously just need to keep an eye out on them. They all seem to be moving, the cubs and everybody. Perhaps we'll try the infrared again this evening. And just wait for the sun to go down just a little bit more. And then we'll have a look. We have Franklin shouting in the distance. Yes, we hear you. Good night. Go to bed now. Another one responding. Should we try this infrared, David? What do you think?
After ladies, I'm happy.
Rebecca, can you hear me in final control? Can we turn on the infrared? I'm talking to Rebecca, everybody. Okay, everybody, you're going to see a little bit of a funny picture happen, but we're going to start turning on all the infrared lights. It's going to go a little bit dark. Darby, let me know when you're ready.
Sure.
We just got to flick a whole lot of switches, everyone. And then once Darby gives me the go-ahead, then I'm going to turn off all of these lights. Okay, ready. Spotlight off. 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 We are now on infrared. Now, let's try and get out of here, David, because the other lions, I think, are moving towards the road. So we're going to do a bit of maneuvering. I'm going to use my spotlight, but just on the ground so I can see where I'm going, because they are going straight towards the road. Now I want to try and get us out safely. Now that we are infrareded up, don't know if that's a word, infrareded, but it's going to become one. Wow! Is all I can hear from the little cubs behind me. So let's try and get in front of them so we don't have to move around too much. It's one thing moving around with them during the day, but at night it's another thing. We've got little ones over here. You can just have a look at them. You can see two over there. One is walking away again. We need to try and move around. But now this lioness has blocked my spot. But maybe we'll find another little way through here, because I think they're going to go and drink some more water. The ones that hadn't had a drink yet. Which little gap can I go through? I think I can sneak through here. They're drinking again, everybody. Let's reposition once more. Right. Okay, Rusty doesn't want to reverse. That's fine. Just want to go around quickly because the lions have blocked our way out, everyone. I'm going to put my lights on here just so I can make it over all these horrible bumps. Yeah, we're almost around, everybody. Just a few more moments. Get onto this bumpy road, and then we're going to have a fantastic view. I can switch off all my lights. Oh goodness. I almost fell out of the vehicle. It was so bumpy. There we go. Now you can see the entire pride, almost, except one female and a Birmingham. They're off to the side, the honeymoon couple. All having a drink. Oh, there they come. The honeymoon couple has joined the party. You can see these little cubs are quite curious as to why we're still here. They're probably thinking, hey, this is the time that you leave and we have private time. We're not going to move around too much. Now, Francois wants to know, hello, Francois from a local Cape Town, which is in South Africa. He wants to know, have I ever had any of the animals acting aggressively towards me? Very few, I'm lucky to say. I've just been charged twice by elephants, but not very serious ones. I was on the road and I very easily could outrun the elephants. It was an elephant bull and master I didn't know was there, and then a female cow that just came charging out from the thicket. I don't know what was wrong with her, but I obviously immediately reversed and left her alone. So there was two sort of surprise charges, and that's really it, and I hope it stays that way. We obviously don't want to upset the animals at all. So when something does happen, I can tell you that we as guides, we feel terrible. It's not always that it was our fault. You know, they get upset too. They have different personalities. Maybe something didn't happen that something happened that wasn't great in their life. Maybe they lost a calf, something along those lines. That stresses animals out too. So that's all that's happened to me, Francois, and I hope to keep it that way. It's been good 5 years. I don't think that's too bad. It's good to always give space and let the animals come to you rather. And reading their behavior is the most important thing. My goodness, I've got a lion using the luxury bathroom. Oh, can you hear that? That is how close this lion is. That you can probably hear the scraping of her feet on the ground. She's right behind my vehicle. Behind Rusty. Rusty, don't get scared. We'll be okay. Everybody's looking. All the little cubs looking in the same direction. Don't fall in. Otherwise you're going to have a very cold evening. Wow. This one lioness, I know you can't see, it's very awkward angle. I just wanted to tell you what she's doing. She was just standing looking into the distance. I think they're still listening. And I'm sure they'll take a big Nyala bull down if the opportunity is there. However, I think that would just be a tasty snack for all of them. I don't think that it would feed on it for much longer than a few hours, and then it would be finished. Good evening, Donna. So Donna wants to know why the leopards are given specific names, whereas the lions are not. Now, Donna, it's all got to do with the research purposes and the fact that leopards mark and defend territory. So you see the individuals on their own. Now, with lions being the only social cats that you see, it's more difficult to give each individual a name and try and keep tabs on it. So normally they give a name to the pride. For instance, we are looking at the Nkuhumas. And the males, if they have a coalition, they will give that coalition of males a name too. If it's a male on his own, he'll get his own name. But that's the reason. It's really just because there's big groups of the lions, whereas the leopards are individuals. so they get their own names. And remember, these names are not sort of pet names. The names are only here just for research purposes, like Jamie was telling you today about the Panthera project that happens in this area. So everyone, I just want to very quickly listen to the game drive radio. I turned it off for a moment. I'm very impressed with these lion cubs. They seem very relaxed with us. They're actually coming up to us. You can see them looking towards us. They don't seem too bothered by us at all, but I am going to limit my movement. I'm going to keep quite still. Now their eyesight is fantastic, and I know Daniel from Scotland was asking just that. How good can lions see? Now during the day, obviously their eyesight is much better than what it is at night. However, they are well adapted to see during the night. So you can see those little white stripes, which we had a look at earlier today underneath their eyes. Those little white stripes actually help reflect light, moonlight, starlight back into their eyes. It helps them see a little bit better. So lions have got lots of rods in their eyes, lots of light receptors, which enables them to use the teeniest, tiniest bit of light to see. I'm pretty sure they're probably seeing something similar to what we're looking at now. They see movement very well as well. And that's why you often see things like all the herbivores, the kudu, the nyala, when they feel as though they have been spotted, they perform the freeze technique. They stand very still, hoping that the lion won't be able to pick them up amongst all the trees. All going in. These little ones have all had lots of water this evening. It's very hot. Myself and David have been rehydrating on numerous occasions. And as I'm sitting here watching them, I'm feeling thirsty as well. It's also nice to see, you can see these little ones are getting older, because the older they get, the more water they're going to start drinking and not really relying on mom's milk. Because when they're really young, they don't really drink as much water as what the adults do. Okay, I'm checking. Oh goodness, this lioness has now decided she's going to lay right behind the vehicle. I think we'll hang around here for a few minutes longer with the Nkuhumas and see what they get up to. While I do so, let's go see how Jamie's afternoon has been going.
Well, I've decided for the last few moments of the sunset safari that I'm on a hyena mission. I'm trying to see, I've taken myself and Liam all the way up to the top northwestern corner of Djuma, because that of course is as close as we can get to the hyena den that is now on Manyaleti. And I'd see their tracks coming along Sandy Patch Road every single morning that I come along here. So I know that they're using this as a regular pathway, that and Gallagher shortcut, backwards and forwards into Djuma. So they're coming by each and every night. Some of you have seen them on the dam cam a few times. I was hoping perhaps we might bump into them as we trundle along. I'm still hoping for a miraculous return of our hyenas. And can you just imagine how big those cubs are going to be now, and how impossible they're going to be to tell apart straight away. And December must be wandering about on his own. November. Oh, let's go over to Taylor. Lion's roaring.
Turn your volume up. Turn your volume up, everybody. The scary thing is, everybody, I can only feel my vehicle vibrating. It was one of the lions that just let out that belting roar. I cannot even see it, but it's somewhere there by that shrub that you're looking at. Somewhere in there. It was quite amazing. I didn't know where the noise is coming from. I could just feel the whole vehicle vibrating. So that was initiated by another Birmingham that was calling in the distance. And this was the Birmingham, and was obviously responding. I don't know where he is. I'm just going to shine my spotlight down in front, so you're going to see the vehicle just shaking a little bit. Where are you? He must just be behind the shrub. Okay. Well, he seems to be. You can see he's somewhere behind the shrub. It's quite thick. I can't see him. My heart, everybody, is that quite something special to be sitting in complete darkness and to hear not just one lion roar, but to hear 3 different lions roaring around you is quite surreal. And I know Jamie had that experience the other night. I'm just catching my breath in between. It was quite special. And she said to me that she couldn't wait for me to experience what she got to. So I think, David, this is your second time.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh, now I know where the luck is coming from, everybody. It's not from me, unfortunately. It's from David, Downpour Dave, the weather predicting man. But there's nothing more special than hearing a lion roar right next to your vehicle. And I know all of you at home are probably itching to be on the safari vehicle with either myself or Jamie, but if I can make a suggestion, is install the biggest subwoofer you can find, and when the lion roars, turn your volume full blast, and that vibration that you get from the subwoofer, that is what we are feeling. That resonating chamber that they have on the back of their throats, it allows for that sound to amplify to such levels that it feels like you're standing in front of a big speaker at a rock concert. Hoping we're going to get another roar again. Perhaps as that other Birmingham comes through. Look at these little cubs that were fighting and playing with each other. The one on the left looked like it was sulking now and moving off. Sorry everybody, I thought I could hear another roar in the distance, possibly one very far away. Now they seem to be on the move again. Big stretch on the left hand corner. I'm pinned in by lions at the moment. I cannot actually go anywhere. I have to wait for either this male to move or the female behind my vehicle to move. But don't worry, I'm perfectly safe. They're not bothered about me inside the vehicle, as long as I don't try and drive over them. I shall wait for them to move. David, I hope you're ready for a long night.
Yes.
We may be here for a while. Did you bring any snacks this afternoon? Any fruit?
No snacks, sorry.
Oh, no snacks. We're going to go hungry. Don't worry, we'll be fine. We'll get out of here. I'm just joking around. No, they've settled down again. I think they just came through to have a quick drink of water. Which I don't blame them on this hot summer's day. It felt like summer. I'm hoping we get lovely hot days again and a build-up. And I can't wait to see the big thunderstorm clouds building up. Normally they start building up at this time of the year. And then we get the big lightning and loud thunder. All those wonderful things to look forward to. It's now deathly quiet out here. I can only just hear a few crickets. And even they're being particularly quiet tonight, possibly from the traumatic experience after that lion roared. Okay, Birmingham is moving to the right next to my vehicle. Rusty. Just trying to fix the infrared lights. Oh no. Okay, no worry. Should I try and turn the vehicle slightly? It's a bit dark. Everybody. One of the lights were refusing to move, but no matter. I can move the vehicle. Should we try that? Let's try and move the vehicle. And have one little look at this male lion. Very quickly, everybody. I'm almost done. I hope there's no trees behind me. Sounds like a small one, but it'll survive. I'm sure he was lying close to me. Okay. Hello, Mr. Birmingham. Here he is again. It's going to go a little bit dark. He's going to go to the other side now. They're so close. There we are. Jacqueline, I'm so glad that that lion roar was literally tear-jerking. It's quite special to see something like that. Let's see if this male's going to perhaps come over and try and entice this female to mate. He's been quite curious and inquisitive with all. There's a big yawn with all the females. He goes over to them and checks them just to make sure that anybody else is perhaps coming into estrus, but it doesn't seem like it just yet. And she doesn't look like she's interested in mating at all this evening. Oh, and he passed some wind, everybody. Now we're getting a big whiff of that, which is not great. Lion flatulence. Now he's gone to sleep again. Okay, let's go forward one last time and have a little look at the lions, the lion cubs. Oh, Dory, I'm glad you can hear those crickets that I was talking about. I'm hoping I'm not running any lions over. Nope, not running lions over. They're not chirping as loudly as they normally do. You can still see them there, sleeping. Not doing too much, I'm afraid. But this is lions for you. They tease you, they taunt you, they groom themselves, they yawn, they roar, and you think they're going to get up and do a big parade for you, handstands and cartwheels, and then they sleep. Those little ones are trying to suckle, and they're being told no, I'm afraid. Beautiful, isn't it? I could just sit here the entire night watching everything that's going on. Now, it's come to that time of the evening again where I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. And I know, unfortunately, Jamie and VM didn't get to say goodbye. So I know they send their regards. Thank you to everybody, the entire team at Safari Live. And we hope to see you tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Safari. So from myself and Darby, have a lovely night. Let's have a look at the lions before we go. Good night, everybody.